Um, all right, so let's continue with our wonderful International Book Day celebrations. I am so excited about our next guest. Susanna Mittermeier is the founder of Pragmatic Psychology. She came to Access Consciousness maybe, 15 years ago or something, a long time ago. And she is a licensed psychologist from Austria. And she basically has started a whole wave of looking at the world in a different way through pragmatic psychology, which is such a different lens and such a different possibility. So I am so excited to have her on. Welcome to International Book Day, Susanna. Thanks for being here.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here. It's funny when you're online, you're like, oh, I can see my hair now. That's cool. Okay, awesome.
Exactly. It's like, this is called Skype or Zoom mirror. This is my mirror. Oh, that's awesome. So today I would love, you've written multiple books. You've written like what, 4 or 5 books?
4.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So today I actually, I'm excited to talk to you about 2 of your books, Pragmatic Psychology, and it's here in my here is the Advanced Pragmatic Psychology, and we have the original Pragmatic Psychology.
In there are 2 different dresses that the book has. You have the old cover, and this is the
Show them the new cover, because my book is the old cover. Beautiful.
There you go.
I love it. So somebody says we look like sisters. Thank you. Thank you very much. So Susanna, your books are amazing. I love these books. They're so filled with amazing tools. And one of the things that's really different about you is you're a happy person in a world of serious people. So can you talk a little bit about how you created Pragmatic Psychology, how you created your first book, and how you came to be a happy person?
Thank you so much. For me, being happy is about letting go of the need to be perfect, which is such a wonderful thing. When you can just show up in the world and go, hi, world, here I am. I'm not perfect, but I'm me, and I'm happy to be me. And it's something that I came into this world like this, but I had times when I, didn't allow myself to be that much. And I was at a point where I'm like, I have to claim this again. If I want to create my life, I have to own the space that I be what I be, and go for it. Like really commit to what I be. And I was, when I was done with high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do, as most of us creative people. And I tried different things, different studies. And there was one point when I was really, really asking myself, okay, so I've tried all these things. My family has been really patient with me. So now I am really clear on what other people want from me. I know what people desire from me. I'm really good at reading that, always been. But one thing I had to train was the clarity on what is true for me. So I remember after trying all these different, studies, becoming a teacher, studying philosophy, linguistics, all these things, different languages, I'm like, okay, I've tried so many things now. What is it that makes me go, wow, yes, that's what makes me happy. So I wrote down some of those aspects. And some of them were, I would like to inspire people to know that happiness is something they can go for no matter what past they had. And to knowing it's not wrong to suffer and it's not right to suffer. It's a choice all of us have to go for a life that works for us, and our past does not determine that. So this was one of the aspects, and I'm like, what is the profession for that? No clue. So the only reference point I had was looking through the university study book and the education that jumped up that was like the most matching, but not really, was to become a psychologist. I had no clue what that meant. I signed up. I somehow got in. It was they only took 30 students per year. So I'm like, okay. So I somehow managed it. And then I was surprised that the study that I thought it wasn't at all. So it was so different, and it was a lot about problems, and it was a lot about categorizing. And I studied in Sweden, so it's I moved from Austria to Sweden. I learned Swedish. I got into university. I studied became a psychologist. It was a 5-year education, and I just knew I had to finish it. I didn't know why. I just knew, do this. And during my education, I was working in child oncology, which was really tough. And
Oh,
my
yeah.
supervisor, she got sick, so I had to handle the whole staff and children and parents. And that was the first time when I realized the studies that I had learned, I cannot, like, nothing prepares you for this, nothing. So this was the first time when I really learned I have to use me, what I know, what I be. This is my toolbox. So this was the first time when I realized, like, creating change, like, nothing prepares you for that, and definitely not any theoretic something or anything. It's you.
Mhm.
So this was something that really made an impression on me. And then
Mm.
I got a job at a psychiatric office. And my job was to do everything from neuropsychological testings to psychotherapy, taking care of the staff and the patients, and to categorize, like with the test, categorize their diagnosis, and then doing some kind of like therapy or whatever was required. Okay,
Mm.
so I did this for a while, and I got really bored because it was all about what's the wrongness and then fix it. So for me, it was, okay, this has to change. Either I find a totally different way of working, or I got to find a new job, because this is not making me happy. I found
Yeah.
myself not being happy. I found myself knowing that if I pursue down that road, I'm going to be depressed, and being a depressed psychologist is not going to work. Let's face it. So,
Mm.
and so I had this thing where I told the universe, hey, something, something, something. So out of the blue, I found like access consciousness, and had really, it was, I think, about 15 years ago, had amazing conversation with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness. And he encouraged me to know what I know and create something different according to what I know is possible. So I started to investigate, I started to explore, ask a lot of questions, use the tools that I learned on me, and then extrapolate it, and how can I use them on my patients? And I did. And what changed was incredible. The things that were not supposed to be changed. And my patients were like
Wow.
over the top different. My colleagues sent me their patients, and they said, don't tell us what you do because that's too weird and different, but whatever you do, do it. And it was a remarkable. Plus, I had a life again. I was happy. At the end of the day, I wasn't drained out of energy and tired. I actually was happy. So this is where I started to create this new paradigm of pragmatic psychology, and pragmatic means doing what works. And then I started to write down like some notes of aha moments of, oh, this, and you can do this with this kind of patient, and la 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 la, and things that changed for me. And I made all these notes, and I was really excited. And then Gary asked, are you writing a book? And I'm like, am I writing a book? And so I literally asked the notes,
Mm.
would you like to become a book? Because I learned everything speaks to you if you listen. And so I'm like, I listened to those pages, and they said yes. And I'm like, okay, I have no clue how to create a book. I have never been good at writing in school. So they said. And so here I was, sending in those papers, those things that I wrote, and there was a book. And I remember the day it was published, because back in the day when the first book, the one that has 2 dresses, was published, uh, man, the world was a different place years ago. We've changed so much. And I realized that if I release this book out into the world, because it is a very different approach to psychology and creating change. It's
Oh my gosh.
very like super different approach than normal, psychology. I knew that, oh gosh, I did this. I'm like, okay, please, I don't want to read any feedback. I don't want to see anything online. I just want to get this out, because I could sense the possible vilification and judgment, because it's so different. But I knew that I had to do this, and my knowing of what it creates was more important to me than the judgments that I would get. And I was ready for judgments, I can tell you. And then, when I started to be ready to actually get people's feedbacks, I was really surprised, how it changes people's lives, and after over 10 years still does. So I'm really thrilled about creating, that kind of change in the world. And I really encourage everyone to, unleash your difference. Trying to be normal for other people, like, how much energy does that take? How expensive is that for you, physically, energetically, also economically? How much does it stifle your creativity? And so it really pays off to unleash your so-called weirdness and craziness, and ask, how can I use that to thrive, to create, to inspire? And it's not about people receiving you, because that's where people go, oh my God, I don't know if people receive me. It's not about you being received. It's about you being, and having the joy for you to be. It's like, in this culture that we live in, it's so much about, like, we have to share, and then we have to get likes, and we have to get thumbs up.
Right.
What if we change that culture for us, where it's not about sharing and waiting for praise, but having that joy for us, and going, oh my God, I love what I do, and I am having fun, and it doesn't matter if other people find it amazing too, because if you shine, if you go for and commit to what you have fun doing, the world shines. You make everything lighten up. Every molecule around you changes and lightens up. And that's creating the change, and people might follow or not, doesn't matter, but you are creating the change. So many people right now are looking for followers, which is, what do you have to do with yourself to make sure you have people liking you and following you? How
Oh,
much do you have to turn off, And people think, oh my God, maybe I miss something if I don't do this hype and this hype. And yeah, and like this person, like I had a client today, she had a session with me, and she's a really cool business lady. And she's like, oh my God, I don't want to do TikTok. It bores me, but they say I have to because it gives me success. Well, if it's not fun for you, it's not going to work in the long run. So what if you trust that you going and you being congruent with what's fun for you and how you would like to express yourself is the success you create, beyond any need to have an image. And that's like such a different way of functioning in the world.
oh,
And I highly recommend it. And that's part of what pragmatic psychology invites you to.
it
Mm.
is. I really loved what you said about not being yourself is expensive.
Mm.
It costs a lot to not be yourself. And we think that it's hard to be ourselves in the face of other people's judgments. At first, it seems like it is, but if you can really use the tools of pragmatic psychology and start to become them and bring them into your life and weave them into who you are, it's actually it turns, it flips, and you're like, wow, it was really, really hard, and it took a lot of effort not to be myself.
that, and what that reminds me when you say that is, and then people create so many stories around them, like whatever they grew up with, whatever other people said about them. And then they create this is me, whatever other people say about me, this is now me, this is my
Right.
personality, this is my story. And then there's so many constructs and structures that right now is such a perfect time to destructure and unstructure all of these things that we have learned, that people told us who we are, and go, okay, let me look at this, let me actually question all of these things that people said about me. And maybe you got diagnosis, or maybe you got labels. Let me question that. Let me have the kindness towards me to find out, who is this person that I call whatever your name is. Who is this me, and who would I like to be? How would I like to create myself? Because we do have the choice to create ourselves so different, so new in every moment, despite of whatever happened 10 seconds ago, or 10 years ago. And what I love with this pragmatic psychology approach is, there's so much complicated stuff in this world that people like, psychological, logical stuff, I always say, when they're like, this is because of this, and because this occurred, and then that, and then this, and then like, they like create these concepts and these stories, but all it does is contract you more into the rather than, wait a second, like, get clarity on what is. When you see things for what they really are, without a point of view, without a judgment, without a conclusion, your world opens up. It's like people who say, oh my God, I'm so afraid. Being afraid is a concept. It's a story you're telling yourself. What is that thing that you call being afraid really? What is it really? And then people asking those questions, they realize, oh my God, wow, I'm not afraid. And I like the sessions I had today, like there was a lady going, oh my God, people tell me I have anxiety, existential anxiety. And I'm like, how do you know that? And she said, well, because I always want more and I'm never satisfied. And I'm like, okay, so is this really, I know, is this really existential fear? Or are you just a person who loves striving for more and loves asking for greater? And she's like, that. And I thought that is fear because people told me that. So she ran around her whole life thinking she's afraid, when she's actually someone who is asking for greater all the time. So this is an example how these psychological, logical concepts are very confusing and creating lies and stories, rather than looking at what truly is true for us. And when we have clarity on what's true for us, everything opens up. We get a freedom that, that's just opening up a new playground for us, the world, and the future.
That's like amazing. And Anne is saying, I ha ha ha, I guess we all have existential anxiety then. And
Yeah.
someone is asking, what is underneath fear, is what they're
Yeah,
asking.
that's a great question. And I want to encourage you to ask this for you, because what we've learned is to generalize. But with these things, you cannot generalize. It's not like this is this and this is this, because then you have another concept. Like, you go from one concept to another concept. You have to ask in a very specific moment, when you experience something and you want to label it and you want to say, this is, let's say, fear. You want to be really, really present in that moment. What's up for you in this very moment? And you want to ask, okay, what if I don't have a label on this? If I strip away that label, what's left? What am I aware of? What am I sensing? Is this something from me in my body? Is this something from somewhere else? Is it from the earth? Is it from a person? Is it from a group? Is it from close to me, far away? It's like, what is it? What am I aware of? And oftentimes it's like, fear has like it feels like something like this, right? And if you don't call it, you can stay with that energy of right. And it's like oftentimes oh my God, there might be an aliveness, an excitement, a looking forward to something that you have misapplied and misidentified as something that you call, let's say, fear or anxiety. This is just one possibility, okay? So please don't generalize this. This is just one thing that I see a lot of people that I work with that are that have an excitement about something, an aliveness that they have been made wrong for, and then people said, "Oh, you don't have to be afraid. It's okay." And then they thought that that energy equals being afraid, and then they realize it's not. And when they realize what's true for them, they can use that aliveness and access their creativity and use it for that situation, whatever that situation might be. So again, this is one possibility. So look at it. What is it for you in that very situation, in that very moment? If you don't call it fear, what is it really? And this is where we can have so much freedom. And imagine if the world wouldn't run on concepts anymore. If people wouldn't go, oh, this is this and this is this. If people would question more, if people would be more clear on what is true for them, we would not be run by insanity as we are now. We would not be subject to lies and being manipulated. We would be the leaders we truly are. And that's something I'm inviting to with so much joy with this different approach, with being pragmatic, because I would love to have a different world. And I know we're creating it. And the more we know what's true for us, the farther we get.
Absolutely. And I am so excited about some of the changes that are taking place on the planet right now. There's been political changes, changes with the earth. I notice people are getting happier. Some people, not everybody. It's like things are just changing, and
Yeah.
and people, whether they realize it or not, are kind of becoming the tools of pragmatic psychology and seeing things from a more pragmatic way. They're going, wait, this isn't working. So what else do I need to do or be or change here? That's the most pragmatic thing you can do. Ask a question.
That's where we go from dramatic to pragmatic, because the world is a very dramatic place. It's all about, oh my God, and drama, and people get so almost turned on by drama. What else would they do if they wouldn't be entertained by drama? I mean, we can look at our own lives. If we go, if I wouldn't have a problem, oh my God, how would I use my energy? It's new. It's like for all of us, we're like, if I wouldn't be troubled for 2 hours per day, 2 hours less per day with troubles, there would be so much free time, so much free energy.
Yeah.
This would be uncomfortable, and you might go, now really have to be in the question and get clear on what I would like, and you would be so much more creative and potent. And the question is, would I, really being honest with ourselves, would I like that? And if you prefer problems, don't worry, you're not wrong. Enjoy them. Enjoy the problems. It's not a wrongness. Just get clear on where are you at and what do you truly desire right now. And then don't stop with any wrongness or with the state of the world. Like so many people are getting distressed with how the world is right now. Well, what if you're not impressed by drama? What if you don't stop with the wrongness? Keep going, keep moving beyond it, because every wrongness, every problem points you towards a new possibility if you would like.
It truly does.
It's like on the roads when they show you the pointers, the
arrow,
the road sign, anything that seems wrong, it just says, hello, look further, just go a couple of steps further. There's a greater possibility waiting for you. And that's where we are right now, where we can go being impressed and stop at the drama or keep on going. And whatever you do, it's not wrong. Just keep on choosing.
I love that. And one of the things that I realized is that I like drama and I like being dramatic. And so, right? So when I stopped making that wrong, I went, how can I include drama in my life in a more creative way? I'm going to actively choose drama. And so a friend and I recently have been watching this ridiculous, painful, super overly dramatic reality TV show called Love is Blind while running bars. And so will run, and Access Consciousness bars is this amazing body process that releases thoughts and feelings and emotions, and you just feel amazing afterwards. So we do the bars while we watch the TV show, and I'll like yell at the TV and I'll be like, "Don't marry her, marry him!" And then while we're running bars, and then afterwards, I feel amazing. I don't want to fight with anybody. I don't need drama. I got my drama. I'm so happy.
That is, and you weren't you also like being in a drama group or something, like acting?
And that's another thing I did for the drama. I also joined a drama group and became assistant director of my stepdaughter's school play, and so much more drama in my life from that too, in a creative way. And it's been so fun. And I'm just noticing I'm picking fights. I'm wanting to have problems less and less and less and less and less, because I'm in allowance of that and actively choosing it.
And using that energy to your advantage. Using that joy of drama to your advantage, and now it becomes a resource, a possibility. Perfect.
I love that. A resource and a possibility. Yep, exactly. So Susanna, your first book, Pragmatic Psychology, and we have both covers, is in 7 languages.
I think even more, but I don't remember.
Is it even more?
Yeah.
Okay. And even more. And then the Advanced Pragmatic Psychology that Susanna and Gary actually co-authored is available in 2 languages, English and German. So that is very exciting. This one is, I always say book is like the best kept secret of Access. Nobody knows about it, but it's like, it's the secret humanoid secret book. So
and it covers, like, it's so funny because it covers like parenting, business, marketing, like money, so many different areas. It's amazing.
It is. One of my favorite chapters is called The Extreme Sport of Awareness. So
yeah,
I will leave you guys with the mystery of what that is. You'll have to buy the book. Awesome. So we have Susanna's website here on the screen, SusannaMittermeier.com. Susanna does private sessions, facilitates classes all over the world. So you can check out her website, her books, and thank you so much for being here, Susanna. This was so fun. I love getting to talk with you.
Likewise. Thank you for having me. And thank you for being such a champ on this International Book Day and leading this through solo. It's really amazing. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Amazing. Well, how does it get better? And we'll see you soon.